Shalom. This week we begin the book of Bamidbar, the book of Numbers. We read Parashat Bamidbar, first Torah portion. And in the beginning of chapter 2, we read about the flags of Israel. The verse says, Hashem spoke to Moshe and Aaron, saying, the children of Israel shall encamp, each man by his flag, according to the insignias of their fathers' households. At a distance surrounding the tent of meeting shall they encamp. The verses continue with an elaborate description of the camp of Israel surrounding the tabernacle, divided into tribes, each tribe according to his banner, according to his flag. And of course, one of the most important principles in Torah study is that the Torah is eternal. And every anecdote, well, there aren't any anecdotes, every message has some sort of meaning for us in our time as well. There's something that we can eternally learn from every detail of Torah, and it's never just about ancient history. So what is the concept of the flags of the tribes of Israel? There is a beautiful midrash that tells us that Hashem showed his great love for the people of Israel by making them flags, just like the ministering angels, so that they should be recognized. And, continues the midrash, how do we know that the concept of a flag, flags, are a sign of his love for Israel? There is a verse in the Song of Songs. King Solomon states, he brought me to the banquet, and his flag above me is love. Now, the midrash explains that the Holy One, blessed be he, when he revealed himself at Mount Sinai, he was accompanied by myriads of angels who were divided into groups according to flags. And, continues the midrash, from the moment that Israel saw this scene, Israel perceived these multitudes of angels descending upon Mount Sinai with flags. Israel collectively felt the deepest desire to also have flags, to be known and recognized by flags. And they said, if only we could have flags like the angels. And so, continues the midrash, said the Holy One, blessed be he, by your lives, the language of a vow, I will fulfill your desire. Immediately he informed Moshe to divide them into camps according to their flags, what we read here in our Torah portion. And the midrash states further, he said to Moshe, make them flags for my sake, for they are my children, as it states, you are children to Hashem your God, and they are my hosts, as it states, and I took my hosts, my nation, the children of Israel, out from the land of Egypt. And since they are my hosts, make them flags for my sake. This is the language of the midrash. And there's a lot of questions on this very beautiful teaching. Of course, it seems somewhat whimsical, but it has to mean something. It has to have some very deep significance, because after all, the flags that the midrash describes can't be talking about a physical thing. This can't be a physical concept. What do flags, insignia, have to do with the world of angels? And of course, another question is, what did Israel find so attractive about these flags? And that verse in the Song of Songs, what's love got to do with it? What's it got to do with a banner being love and God's love for the children of Israel? And what's this all about, making them for my sake, because they're my children, my hosts? What do flags have to do with them being his children and his hosts? And anyway, what is the meaning of this idea that God revealed himself at Mount Sinai, accompanied by angels with flags, as if flags have something specifically to do with the giving of the Torah? So obviously there is a tremendous amount of very mysterious symbolism conveyed by the powerful words of this midrash. It must have some very great meaning for us as well. So, to begin to answer this mystery, let's look at the world around us. And we realize that every nation has a flag, which of course serves to set that nation apart from others. And in addition to the general flag of the nation, within the nation itself, there are specific flags. For example, within a nation's army, every branch has its own function, its own mission, and the flag actually serves to signify that special branch of service. And, of course, Every individual serving within that army has an insignia that identifies him as belonging to that particular branch. And the Midrashic idea is basically telling us that so too with the angels, there are many levels. There are seraphim, there are chayot, there are ofanim, all the ministering angels, each with its own task, because there is a mystical teaching that every angel that God creates has its own specific job to do in this world. No two are alike. And this is why the angels are known, at a deeper level, this is the idea, the angels are known by their flags, meaning that each angel has a particular path in his individual service of God. And this is the beauty of this Midrashic teaching on our Parsha. This is exactly what Israel was after. This is exactly the deep longing and the feeling, the yearning that Israel wanted when they saw the countless numbers of angels that were divided by flags, each attending to his own task according to his purpose from the very moment of his creation. Israel also desired to have flags like them. In other words, the desire felt by Israel was that every single individual should know his own path and purpose in serving God and have clarity of knowledge and understanding to know it just like the angels, because the very worst thing for a person in this world is not to know one's purpose. So, it was on this very point the Midrash is teaching us that God said, I will fulfill their desire. The flags are representative of the unique job of every single individual. Every single individual has a very specific, tailor-made personal mission in fulfilling God's purpose on earth. And the great challenge is to know exactly what that is. This is the secret also of the great love symbolized by the flags, and why the verse states that his banner above me is love, and why God said that since they are my children, my hosts, I will give them flags. Because this great love is actually the God-given, divinely inspired clarity and knowledge for every individual to know what is my purpose in the world, what is my own singular, individual, personal path in serving God. And that's really the significance of the flags. And of course, this idea conveys the eternal side of our Parsha, exactly what we were asking. What is the eternal message for our time in this teaching? The Parashat Bamidbar starts with the numbering of the children of Israel to show that every single individual is a world. Every single individual has a name and a number and fits into the great choreography of God's plan. And also, every single individual has a distinct job for which he or she came into this world. And interestingly, this Parsha always comes before the giving of the Torah, before the holiday of Shavuot, as if this entire concept of the collectivity and yet the singularity of every individual within the nation is like a prerequisite for receiving the Torah anew. Because the very worst thing that can happen in this world is for an individual to think, I have no unique purpose. And that is the eternal idea here of this teaching, to remind us that this is the great love that Hashem was expressing to Israel by saying, I will fulfill your desire. The love is not the flag itself, but rather the ability for a person to strive to know and to understand, each one of us, our own individual purpose in this world.